Este lo está poniendo en situación. A ver si lo consigue, a ver si está en la lista. A ver si hay una lista. Y este no está en la lista. Y se lo cargan ahí, luchando. Mira, ¿dónde coño estoy yendo yo? Tiene que ir por aquí. Y estoy yendo por aquí. Esto está mal. Esto son los mismos carros. Esta es la primera mujer vampiro, esto, lo que sea, esta.
I cannot enter.
Vale. Me va a liar ahí la cosa, ¿eh? Que no puedo entrar y me calma. El rollo que hay un lobo ahí. Uf. Me hay una escalerita ahí. Esa tía la cabrona, el gas es explotar, ya te el gas y explotarte. Es uno nuevo bicho para enfrentarse. Que no me mola mucho, pero bueno. No suele ser muy complicado. La verdad, me voy a cargar a estos idiotas. Y no hay nada. ¿Te parece zona de boss o algo?
I cannot enter.
¿Y dónde coño estáis?
It's locked.
Aquí tampoco. Necesitaría una llave o algo. Sospechoso. Vamos para allá. Aquí por ahora no. Que no sé cuándo es por ahí, en qué momento aquí a un lado, si te puede conseguir algunas cosas, si no. No voy a enfrentar a ese idiota. A que murió súper fácil. Hostia, 28. Mira, corazón, reventado. O sea que era 28, niño. Hay aquí un cartelito de este de escupir de estornudo. Mete lo mismo. Ah, vale, ya estamos en esta otra zona. Que no podíamos pasar antes. Y ya estamos aquí y podemos pasar. Guay. Vamos a desbloquear una zona. Pero ya descarguéme yo a esos dos idiotas.
The West End. Never have I felt so sad to be back home.
El miedo de escalera. ¿Qué nivel es ese? 24, vale. Ya parece que aquí empezó a subir el nivel que flipa. Desde que hice la misión se me subieron 2 niveles todos, ¿o qué? 29. Hostia, ¿en serio? ¿Ya empezamos? Sí, ya empezamos. ¿Quién coño eres tú? A ver si. 27. Ya por ahí. Bueno, me vale. Lo que tenía previsto. Pues me vale. Me he cargado a varios kikis. ¿Qué va? Me das 10 por cada uno. ¿Qué? Joder, macho. Como ahí no me vendes nada, cabrón. A ver. Aquí tiene que haber algo, tío. No me jodas. Este tío apareció de la nata y yo aquí dando huertu. No sé dónde apareció. ¿Este la que coño es? $26, $24, uff. 26, $24. ¿Puedo enfrentar a la tía de 29 que tengo allí? Me puedo entrar aquí. Esta no será parte de la misión, ¿no? Ne. Tengo estos tipos por este lado. Y aquí hay idiota por aquí otro. No te mangueo todo. Pluma. Interesante. Nenito, que nunca falta. Sangre pura, conocemos la expresión, la hemos oído en la boca del necio hereje y de bárbaros extranjeros, e incluso lo hemos usado nosotros mismos, pero sabemos lo que realmente significa un vampiro nacido de la estrella de un inmortal. Qué idea tan desagradable. ¿Cómo podría una criatura así hallar un lugar entre los vivos? ¿Cuál sería su propósito en nuestra esta? Claro, caballeros, Ascalon está aquí para proteger al imperio y a todos sus ciudadanos. Somos los protectores y los pastores, aun cuando a veces sacrificamos alguna oveja como sustento. Todo aquello que sea hallado culpable de sucumbir al deseo de engendrar a un niño inmortal será erradicado. La ley de Ascalon. Vaya, tenemos aquí a Toki. Vale. Vale. Ya podemos hablar con este tío. Creía que estaba...
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. Do you need help, sir?
I think I'm fine. But what happened to my jailer? Be careful. He's as vicious as he is strong.
You don't have to worry about him anymore. What happened here?
I am Tadao Kimura. I was imprisoned by this lunatic for several days. I thought I was going to die here.
You're not going to die now, Mr. Kimura. If you hurry, you should be able to get home safely.
It seems that I owe you my life. You have all my gratitude, Dr. Reid, since it is the most precious thing I possess.
¿Es más valiosa? ¿Cuál?
Goodbye, Mr. Kimura. Take care. Are you sure you'll manage to reach the West End by yourself, Mr. Kimura?
Yes, I'm perfectly capable of defending myself when not ambushed by insane cultists.
Goodbye,
Vale.
Mr.
Aquí aún no puedo hacer nada que no... Vale. ¿Qué otra puerta te podía entrar yo? A esta. Vale. También tengo bicho. Vale, vale, vale. Esta está... Esto es un refugio. ¿Dónde está el refugio ese? Yo aquí no lo veo. No veo ningún jodido refugio, gente. Vaya mierda. Y esto tendría como una habilidad de poder subir. O sea que ese tío estaba persiguiéndolo, dando por culo. Y ahora son... Hice la misión y ahora todos me subieron 26. 24, ahora están todos dando por saco con niveles más altos. Me cago en la leche. ¿Cómo sube nivel solo por...? Joder, macho. Vamos aquí. No, ¿cómo sube la cosa?
Fresh water. As long as it's not holy water, I may find some use for it.
Ah, ya sé para qué. Agua fresca y tiene que estar en un jodido... Agua bendita. Esto no pasa nada. ¿Sabes para qué sirve esa agua? Para la planturria que se nos muere. ¿Vamos a llevárselo? Sí, vamos a llevárselo. Después me hago una limpieza aquí que flipa. Para enfrentarme a niveles 26, tío, yo no sé. ¿Me compensa hacer eso o liar la...? Claro, de que haga una misión principal, ¡pum! 4 niveles más me sube todo. Ya me cago en tus muertos. Me tiene para darme por culo, ¿no? Hostia, me tengo que cargar, soy idiota también. ¿Estaban aquí? ¿Qué carajo está? ¿Ya no están? Entre todos los diablos y repugnantes a lo que me he tenido que enfrentar, los Icon puede ser los peores y no se debe a su capacidad para luchar, aunque no deja de ser un rival harto poderoso y peligroso, ni tampoco a su intelecto superior ni a sus astutos planes. El Ico es directo y franco en sus acciones y objetivo propagar enfermedades, contagios y epidemias siempre y cuando tienen la oportunidad. El es la encarnación del virus e infecciones. Donde quiera que va, surge la enfermedad y se propaga rápidamente. Parece como si solo estuviera en este mundo para engendrar plagas y epidemias, como si su propia piel esparciase la enfermedad. Los Ishors son astutos, escurridizos, malévolos y feroces, capaces de soportar muchas heridas, estropear un depósito de agua y granero o un banquete. Ese es el tipo de cosa que hace un Ishor para satisfacer su pútrida y perversa naturaleza. Son tan poco comunes que no sabemos nada acerca de ellos. La, la perezosa hermandad cree que no se los debe considerar vampiros ni skals, sino algo distinto. Solo tengo clara una cosa: un Ixor que se destruido por todos los medios en cuanto es descubierto. Para tu enemigo, el Charlotte Edry, líder del Priware. Ya está mirando este papelito. A ver, dame cosillas. Bien. Ya la vamos a ver. Aún tengo esa peña que no la voy a abrir. El 26 me da mío, La vieja, pues mira, es una don nadie, pero el 26. El 26 ahí. Hostia, ahí está el refugio, ¿no? Ahí está un refugio. Ahí puede que esté el refugio. Puede que no. Dios, como me ha subido todo el nivel, tío, de toda la zona. Me cago en la leche. Ya sé por qué no me da abrir esa jodida puerta, coño, ni que fuera tan difícil. Vale, me cago en termino. Toda la zona la limpié ya. La puerta me la tengo cerrada. Anda que por culo. Vamos a echarle agua a la planta. Lo único que me interesa a mí. Después, claro, estoy viniendo desde esta zona para limpiar toda esta zona desde aquí. Y ya después tengo toda esta zona aquí y toda esta zona para descubrir. Que son las partes que me faltan. Ok. Que no falta poco del mapa. Yo sí, los pateo, tío. Voy a ver un viaje rápido. Cuando hemos limpiado todo ya. No. Es un por saco que flipa. Por aquí, no. Por aquí. Estoy limpiando todo. Hostia, esto sí se regenera, Los villanos no, pero la madera y eso, hay un tío ahí que aún sigue en la revolución. Me cago en la leche. Vale, ahora son 26, tío. Y yo nada más que tengo 5000 puntos. Es una mierda. En todos los sentidos. Estoy ya sin munición. Joder. Gasto mucha munición. La escopeta la tengo al máximo, gente. Lo único bueno que tengo es la escopeta al máximo. A las 5, máximo 600 y pico de daño. Reviento la jodida escopeta. ¿Qué pasa? Jodido. De munición no tengo que tenga mucha. Una mejora tenía que ser ponerme más munición, pero no sé, me tendría que mejorar la munición, ¿no? De la escopeta, aunque sea. Ya que no me estoy mejorando.
Done.
Vale, ya está. ¿Me tendría que mejorar la munición? Es posible. No tengo daño por caída. Bien. ¿Debería o no debería? No lo sé. No lo sé, gente. Si pongo ya escopeta... Bueno, la escopeta mete un montón la que tengo al máximo, pero... Prefiero seguir subiéndome la estamina. Ahora que tenemos un enorme mapa que hacer. Me gusta ya bien. Más mapas. Esta zona la voy a abrir ya. A esta zona nunca he estado yo. Ah, no, esta zona me dio la lleva hace poco. Vale, sí. Vale. No creo que me apetezca hacer esto. Me lo dio el tío con la cara que se intentó suicidar. ¿El problema es qué? Vámonos. A liar la parda. Lo de la estamina, la sangre, me mola. Y vida, bueno, la vida me lo estoy tomando con calma. Todo lo demás, sí. ¿Te va a habilitar algún evento o algo? No sé. Porque te han emboscado desde arriba. Que tampoco no sé para qué me sirve esta mierda aquí en medio. Lo raro es que esos tíos ya no estén. Me iba a cargar. Y ahora no están. Hay dos puertas para entrar. Pero no puedo entrar tampoco. Son muertos. Esto me comunica con el otro lado, que me vale. Pero yo lo tengo aquí. Tengo para ir para allá. Tengo limpiado toda esta zona. Esta zona la tengo limpia. Esta zona la tengo que limpiar. Bueno, esta zona comunica con esta. No. O sea, esta primero. Y esta. El 29, la... Hay una. Guay. ¿Hasta dónde llega? ¿Tengo que llegar de aquí o sí? Me meto bien. ¿Cómo me quita tanto los cabrones? A ver, es porque me estallaron muy cabrones. El veneno me revienta. Me estalló y me reventó. Y casi siempre me equivoco, le voy a dar la garra y le meto la ulti. Y me equivoco. Vale. Aquí no hay nada. Vaya mierda. Esto es solo para el refugio.
I can't believe I'm doing
Me revienta, pero también porque tampoco me subió la vida. ¿Sabes lo que te quiero decir?
this. Is despicable.
Me subo la vida, entonces es normal que me reviente. ¿Dónde está mi choza? No creo que me pueda mejorar nada aquí. Esto... Hostia, esto se me lo puedo mejorar. Vale. Esto lo tengo al máximo. Yo también lo tengo al máximo. Me voy a haber mejorado esto entonces, ¿no? ¿Es la misma mierda? No, no es la misma mierda. Vale, lo tengo casi todo. Vale. ¿Cuál es el despacho de un rey ese?
I cannot enter.
Puerta de cerrar. Ah, esta es la casa de madre. Hola, mami. Anda.
Father and I have spoken about your fiancé, Mary. We believe he'll be an honorable husband for you. We'll set a date for the marriage then. That way, I'm sure one of my children will give me grandchildren. I understand your thirst for knowledge, Jonathan, and your father and I are proud of it. But you are not that young anymore, my son. When will I meet your soulmate?
No puedo tener hijos, ¿eh? Yo ahora soy
You
mortal,
can
¿eh?
ascribe my romantic tendencies to my French origins if you want, Aubrey. But I'll never cease to believe in a match made in heaven, my beloved.
Hago una cabra, señora.
I really wish you could meet her mother. You would love her.
A ver, ¿qué pasó con la madre? Vale, este tío era solo salvarla, joder, macho, vaya mierda. Anda, mira. Le doy a esto, le doy aquí, a los detalles. No sé yo.
It's locked, all right.
Yo tengo la llave. De no sé qué cuarto. Cuarto, ¿eh? Es lo que no sé yo. ¿Qué cuarto es, tío? ¿La llave? La llave de despacho de Aurel Rey. Despacho Aurel Rey. El despacho Aurel Rey. Ah, es este.
Aubrey, I'm not sure visiting.
Carta Aurel. Mi querido y adorado John, cuando reciba esta carta ya tendré 35 años y yo habla mucho que me marché. Me siento un poco estúpido por escribirte esta primera carta que no leerás en años. Llevo mucho tiempo debatiéndome sobre cómo contarte esto, hasta que recorde los muchos rompecabezas y acertijos que inventaba para ti cuando no eras más que un niño. Como disfrutaba revolviendo los enigmas, pues bien, he pensado que no sería mala idea planearte un último juego, aunque sin duda será mucho menos gratificante. Esta vez no encontrarás caramelos ni tesoros exóticos por descifrar la solución, pero sí quizá un tesoro más valioso, la verdad. Me toca con el padre, que era John. Este será mi último intento de explicarte por qué decidí abandonar a mi familia sin dar ninguna explicación. Hostia, en serio, va a comprar cigarros. Si quieres descubrir el motivo, tan solo resuelve mi pequeño juego. Todo depende de ti, hijo mío. No dudes que te quiero, te prometo que mi familia fue y siempre lo será. Todo para mí. Recuerda... Hostia, a lo mejor el primogénito. El primer vampiro. Recuerdo la primera vez que os tuve en brazos de tu hermana y a ti. Mi tesoro, mi joya... No, tampoco puede ser. Veros crecer, jugar y reír inundaba mi corazón de gozo cada vez que volvía a mi hogar. Habría sido capaz de matar por proteger a Eros, mi hijo y mi hija, mi esposa, pero el destino terminó encontrándome y tuve que tomar una difícil decisión. Lo peor fue desaparecer sin decir nada, aunque así decidí hacerlo. Muy pronto habré marchado de todo. No pido perdón, sino comprensión. Tu afectuoso padre, Reid. Si quieres saber más, tan solo debes recordar lo felices que éramos en aquella época. Si quieres descubrir el siguiente mensaje, piensa en la verde hierba y en los altos árboles en domingo soleado.
I remember Sunday walks in the park.
¿Vale? Ya está esos árboles. Me tengo que excavar, maldito. ¿Y este quién era? Este tenía la misma foto que mi novia, el mismo cuadro, gente, yo no sé. Sospechoso, a lo mejor era el mismo. Le voy a dar un patatú a la vieja que flipa. Vieja, que no estaba viva, que no estaba muerto, estaba en parranda.
Mother, good evening.
Jonathan! Is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
I'm right, Mother. I'm finally home.
Yes, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister?
Ya está un poco para allá la tía.
Where is Mary?
Si fue a su funeral.
She is gone, Mother.
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
Nieto.
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Hostia, la vieja le da los yuyu fuertes, ¿eh?
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Verdad que la hermana casi no la lía con él. Falta encontrar esta pista.
Do you need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty and dead eyes.
Bueno, estoy muerto más o menos. La sana, cabrona, pues yo creía que tenía problemas, cosas de la cabeza, fijo. Tenía cosas de la cabeza, fijo.
Are you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she's also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
Aquí hay un rollo entre lo de los muertos y tal. Claro, dice, bueno, lo de la madre, o sea que, bueno, otra cosa interesante.
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson, and my son-in-law, you're all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
¿Sabes que también estoy muerto? Como soy vampiro.
Father seems to have left me some documents. Some sort of treasure hunt game. Do you know anything about them?
No, Johnny. But your father always loved to write these little games for you when you were a boy. Don't you remember?
I remember now. He used to post me these riddles, as though they were sent by a mysterious games master. I'd spend weeks trying to decipher them.
Your father was always so proud each time you found the answer. He was not just the serious doer banker everybody thought he was.
I was proud too. How could I forget that?
The important thing is that you remember it now. I'll tell your father the next time I see him. He'll be so happy.
Could Father have conceived some sort of final game for me before he left?
I really can't say, Johnny. Perhaps you should talk with Avery about that. He was your father's confidant, more than I.
Maniconeo con el mayordomo.
Do you really see Mary and Father? Do you also see me as one of the dead?
Yes. For many years, it was just a game. Since your father left us without a word, I took to the habit of speaking to him.
Yes, I remember. I sometimes spied on you and listened to you talking with Father in the garden. It made me so angry then. But it was just a game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. But since then, my poor dead Mary visited me in my room. She led me to her grave, and there you were. I now know the dead can haunt us.
Hostia, la tía se cagó con la movida aunque tuviese media para allá en ese momento, igual, con los efectos de la Mary.
I'm so sorry. You did not deserve to endure this. Mary should never have done this to you.
That's true, my son. But you know what the worst part is? I liked it when Mary spoke in my head. Now she is silent, and it makes me so sad.
Should I leave you alone? Just ask, and I swear you'll never hear from me again.
Oh, no, Johnny. You're always welcome in this house. And one day, when I finally die, we'll all be together again, just as Mary promised us.
Guay, 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 guay. Con la madre, ¿eh? Ya sabemos dónde vive.
Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
Tengo una misión de un tío que no está en el juego, ¿no? Hostia. Anda. Pero este tío... ¿Está aquí? Existe. Esta mejor es el viejo de abajo. Va a ser el mayordomo, el único que está aquí. Mayordomo, vente para acá. Tú y yo tenemos que hablar. Esto es mío, es de mi propiedad, me la llevo cuando yo quiero. El viejo ese. Hasta aquí.
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan, I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reid expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
Para que lento habla. A ver,
Do you need medical attention?
Thank you, but I'm all right.
ya solo verlo, coño.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reid is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reid was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reid myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Buah. La misión es de este hombre. Hostia. ¿Cuánto me da este hombre? 4. 2200. Eso me da a mí. La vieja. Me cago en la leche.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London...
Los franchutes no, coño.
I'm afraid Miss Reid is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it.
Eso fue
Have to watch her carefully.
por culpa de Mary.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
Ya, cabrón. Y que devoto este hombre.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
El sacerdote murió.
At the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I'm sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
I found an old letter written by my father and addressed to me. Do you know anything about it, Avery?
Your father wanted me to give you this letter for your 35th birthday, but you left for the war, and the letter remained in his office until tonight.
I realize now you knew my father better than I did. Do you know why he left, Avery? Did he ever speak to you about his departure?
No, sir. Mr. Reid was not exactly forthcoming. Perhaps this letter will give you the information you require.
¿Era para la guerra o qué?
my mother speaks to the dead members of this family.
Yes. I sometimes hear her speaking to you, Miss Mary, and her baby. Sometimes your father, too.
So she thinks I'm also dead. And what about you?
I believe she only sees her relatives as the dead she speaks to, Mr. Jonathan. It breaks my heart to see Miss Reid like that.
I am powerless to help her. She thinks I'm a ghost too. Whatever I say, she just sees me as another dead relative.
But you are still alive, Mr. Jonathan. That's the difference. And I am sure Miss Reid will realize it soon.
Sí, con la cara de muerto que tengo, porque soy un vampiro, eso no se lo quita a nadie.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir. So my task is not over.
Hostia, me va a echar en cara el cabrón. Me cago en la leche, pues me la cargo y termino antes, coño. No, no.
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
Hostia, ¿en serio?
Do you really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
My home is here, and I have nowhere else to go. But this house will need some improvements if I move here. Some radical changes.
That's good news. Whatever changes you have in mind, I'm sure we will find an arrangement that suits your mother also.
Vale, eso sí que le mola. Vale, vale.
Goodbye, Avery. Please watch over my mother until I return.
Of course, Mr. Jonathan. But please return as soon as possible.
Ole. Ole tú. Te bajé por ahí. Y aquí hay otra puerta que no mira. Oye, más querido Avery. Como ya le he comentado hacía varios días, puede que me vea obligado a marcharme de Inglaterra, aunque solo sea unos meses mientras estoy fuera. Y hasta que mi hijo regrese a Londres, quiero que cuide lo mejor que pueda de nuestro hogar. Ya he llegado a cabo todos los preparativos necesarios para aumentar su salario y que siga recibiendo su paga mientras continúe trabajando. Me prometió que protegería a mi querida esposa y que la serviría lo mejor posible de acuerdo con sus posibilidades. Por ello reciba mi agradecimiento desde lo más profundo de mi alma. Si no regreso nunca, sepa que jamás he confiado en nadie más que en usted. Considéreme su más afectivo amigo, Reid. Vale, no creo que esto me desbloquee lo que me falta. Hemos descubierto muchas cosillas. Esta zona ya es zona segura, ¿no? Vamos a seguir hablando con la...
Good evening, sir. Please forgive me for disturbing you. I'm a doctor.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. And you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Reid.
Welcome, Dr. Reid. Welcome to my humble shop.
I may have a look at your goods, Mr. Russell.
The Ascalon Club. The heart of British vampire society. Not quite as subtle as I expected. It's locked. It's locked.
It has been such a long time since I last went. Good evening, Dr. Reid. A great night.
¿No puedo robar o qué? Vamos a preguntarle cosas.
How is the situation in this part of town?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress and wonders.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the danger were that high.
You cannot expect the newspapers to expose the truth while the war is still raging. I can assure you that the situation here is desperate.
Well, that's news then. But I can't believe that things are that bad. Are you sure you're not exaggerating a bit? For the thrill of it?
What can you tell me about this place?
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address if you want.
Finding a good restaurant? Is that really all that interests you?
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite flavors from my teeth to my belly.
I must confess, I have quite specific tastes when it comes to nutrition.
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new exotic meals. If you ever find an intriguing table, please share the address.
Is it not a little too late to be trading?
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail. And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
So you prefer to work at night?
Oh, I also enjoy a sunny day like everybody else. But the night always has a certain je ne sais quoi of its own.
Do you have any family nearby?
Not since my parents died. I'm London's lone gourmet.
Really? But you seem to be such a pleasant and sociable fellow.
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not mean it can't ever be shared.
London's lone gourmet. What a strange title.
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I kept it.
Goodbye, Mr. Russell. I'm sure you'll take care of yourself.
Support the equality between men and women!
Good evening, miss.
Oh my god, no. Please, Mr. Vampire, don't kill me. Please, no. I'm too young to die. I still have so much to offer this world.
Wait, no. Why do you think I would... What?
Don't worry, Dr. Reid. I know you wouldn't harm me. Mother told me you were in this part of town and might drop by.
Your mother?
My name is Charlotte, sir. Charlotte Ashbury. My mother taught me long ago how to recognize the signs that betray a vampire.
I understand she also taught you how to tease and gently mock innocent young econs. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Charlotte. What do you think about this part of town?
I was raised here, and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Yes, I was born a few streets away.
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her in a dark alley at night?
You won't trick me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck. Oh, are you blushing, Dr. Reid?
Is there something that's bothering you?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste. Even when there was no epidemic.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich.
I suppose you're right. But society must reform and renew itself, or we are all done for.
Tell me about your adoption.
What do you want to know?
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised me and has taken care of me all my life. I have no idea who my progenitors are or were.
Do you live with her?
I still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live, you see? And one day, I'll have my death to face.
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me, and I have lived with her ever since.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word... is Econ, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
What are you doing out here?
You mean, what do I do outside at night since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night, considering the risks.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all women. Why should I wait to the age of 30 years when men can vote at 21?
Are you a suffragette, then? Oh, you really are Elizabeth's girl. Without a doubt.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia. But women here can't vote unless they are property owners.
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte. I have shared your opinion for a long time. Even before I met Emmeline Pankhurst.
Really? Oh. Now I see why my mother appreciates you so much. Too bad there aren't more men like you in the vicinity.
Más por rollo de los vampiros, pero los sufragistas era la hostia, porque no era como la feminista. Pero su ideal era que las mujeres con propiedad pudieran votar. Las mujeres ricas, aristócratas, tuviesen también derecho a votar. No toda la población. Ahí antes era elitismo. Pero bueno, cosas de historia.
How are the locals reacting to your claims?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town. That's how progressive they are. If this happens, Emily and I will blow it up.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady. And who is this Emily?
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too. She was supposed to campaign with me tonight, but hasn't turned up.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to believe in... well, she got interested in vampires. I'm afraid she might be in trouble.
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try to find your friend.
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might have gone. You have my thanks, Dr. Reid. And please, don't tell my mother.
What exactly has your mother told you about me?
Your name and profession, obviously. And the mystery about your maker. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your sister, sir. Mother says it was not your fault.
Does it not scare you to know what I am? What your mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reid? Or you?
Yes, you should. I killed my own sister because of the hunger. There comes a time when a mortal is only seen as blood by a vampire. Whatever the bonds between them.
You can't be Wait. Good one, Dr. Reid. You almost got me.
Glad you found it amusing. But do keep my warning in mind.
I will, Dr. Reid. Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate it.
Do you know why Lady Ashbury chose you to become her daughter?
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How is it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
Why do you still hope to become a vampire in spite of your mother's refusal?
It's the immortal aspect of vampires that interests me. The world won't improve unless women take charge. I'm convinced of that.
You're obviously a clever woman. With a good education and a brilliant future. But have you thought about the price you'd have to pay? The loneliness, the necessary masquerade.
Is it not true of every high position? To change this world and make it a better place, one needs time on one's side.
Your mother has refused to turn you into a vampire. Tell me more about it.
Each time we argue, Mother expresses the same fear. She wants me to remain alive and full of joy, rather than become melancholy and immortal. She claims you can't have one without the other. It's pure selfishness.
It's your mother's choice. As daughters and sons, we have to accept the decisions our parents make for us despite our own wishes.
I love my mother, and have accepted everything from her. Even that she named me Charlotte, when it was not my original name.
Does it bother you?
No. Whoever I was when I was born, I am now Charlotte Ashbury. It hurts as much as it makes me proud to know that's the name my mother will read on my tombstone.
Hostia. Entonces, claro, a poner el mismo nombre y tener el apellido, ¿qué pasa? Cuando muera, dirá que es la madre la que ha muerto. Y así ella puede seguir siendo eterna, ¿sabes? Y cada generación ella va poniéndole adoptiva a una mujer con el mismo nombre y tal, y cuando muera pone que murió fue la joven, fue la vieja.
Your mother has walked this earth for much longer than you or I. She is wise, and we should not ignore her advice when we disagree with it.
But why shouldn't I be allowed to forge my own experience? There can't be only one righteous way to deal with eternity.
Tell me, Charlotte, how do you plan to achieve eternal life, since you've obviously given it a lot of thought?
I won't give up. You have no idea how determined I am, sir. I may contract a deadly disease. I may throw myself under a carriage, just to be saved by her sweet kiss.
That's a disturbing answer, young lady. And the worst part of it is, I know you speak the truth.
There are less dangerous ways, Doctor. Instead of throwing myself under a horse like Emily Davison, I could just throw myself into your arms.
Be careful what you wish for, young lady. I could gaze at you right now and then take you to a shady corner and have my way with you. And leave your carcass to the rats.
You wouldn't dare. My mother would know. She'd never forgive you.
How could she suspect me? Do you know how many vampires are lurking in the city tonight as we speak? Vampires with a worse sense of humor than mine.
Oh, my God. For one second I thought you actually... Excellent, Dr. Reid. Very convincing.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Here we go!